Hello and welcome to another news update for Blade & Soul Neo NA. There is quite a bit to talk about, but a lot more speculation than like actual solid stuff, so let's get into it. Kicking us off, there was a Battle Pass Plus selection rewards chest bug that was occurring. Basically, the people who were supposed to be getting their purple selection chest after finishing the Battle Pass Plus level 30 at the maintenances, some people weren't getting that, and that of course is a big problem. So there were a bunch of tickets thrown in, and there was a post made by Ronan to talk about, hey, we understand this happened to some people, here's some ways that you can deal with it, and we're working on making sure that people affected can make sure they get their chests as fast as possible. You should have already gotten your chest if this was you who had this happen to you, but just in case you still are fighting for it, you can always go to the game support and see if they can help you out there. Now, of course, kicking off the most interesting news to everyone, it was confirmed that we are getting the Shadowsea Garrison with this coming patch, which is going to happen right after today. Shadowsea Garrison is a new legendary dungeon that's coming out, level 50 plus required, 4-man run. The DPS requirements for this legendary dungeon are actually going to be less than the 4-man requirements for lab when it came out. So if you were one of those few people who was able to run a 4-man lab before it turned into 6-man, you will also already be able to run Shadowsea Garrison, I believe. Of course, maybe this changes depending on like boss level and extra defenses, stats, etc. But technically the DPS requirement is supposed to be lower given the health of the boss and the timer duration that you have to beat it. Now, with the Shadowsea Garrison update, in addition to the legendary dungeon coming out, there is a whole lot more that we are getting. To start off with, there are going to be new portrait bonds coming out. There's also going to be a 4-leaf clover event coming. Basically, as you clear a bunch of dungeons throughout your normal daily routine, you're going to be getting 4-leaf clover tokens, whatever you want to call it. And with these tokens, you can go to a special merchant that will be appearing. It's going to be a cow that looks like Goku, Super Saiyan 3 form, all that fucking crazy shit. It looks awesome. It's pretty fun. And you can exchange these tokens for a variety of goodies, most of which aren't super crazy, but basically the big chase item here is going to be that outfit that you want. You can get probably one per character, and then on top of that you can grab some special insignia chests and fusion chests and some extra Hung Moon Blessing, some extra portrait chests, etc. My guess is that you're going to be able to acquire these tokens in order to buy out the entire shop and then some by the time that the event actually ends. So there is an unlimited amount of healing tonics that you can buy in case you want to top up on potions throughout your dungeon runs after you've bought out the rest of the shop. That's just kind of how it's going to be. You know, something to look forward to, something fun, a bit more jovial coming to the game. Next up, we have the Brothers Hajun's Tome event. Now, they changed it up a little bit. They added a new energy source, whatever, which comes with different rewards. The most important one that I want to touch on here is the fact that you actually have the ability to make Windshock Soul Shield chests for yourself out of these, or you can gamba everything on a Crimson Skillbook chest. Now, this Crimson Skillbook chest has my interest because it has the potential to be a legendary skillbook. Of course, we don't know the rates. I've heard speculations from anywhere from like 0.5% to like 2%. But who really knows what it is? It's going to cost all 4 of the essences. We are for sure about that. So it would be 10,000 divine gems to have the shot at the legendary skillbook chest, which is rather good considering the price that you would normally have to pay just to try to get one is about that or higher. However, it's not going to be too likely that you're going to get one anyways. It does have a chance to also come back with a a heroic skill book chest selectable, which is nice at about 8%. Whether or not that's actually going to be feasible depends if you want to gamba for an 8% purple selection chest. I think it's worth it. I'd personally do it if I had the gems for it. However, a lot of people probably don't want to touch that gamba wheel even a little bit, and that's perfectly understandable. Next, we have a new attendance book talked about with they're teasing the horse head, the mystery cosmetic. I know a lot of people have been asking for this for quite a while. just because it's so stupid looking and so funny, and I'm sure people would love to see an entire army of little summoners and limbs running around with horse heads looking bigger than their bodies in the game. I'm not sure if that's actually how it's going to work out, but I could see a whole bunch of little limbs doing this stupid little walk with horse heads on top. It would be pretty. I think it would be great. Coming after that, we have a helium outfit set and weapon. So this is the cosmetic that you can also get from doing the beach picture thing event that just ended. I forget exactly what it's called. I don't care. But this looks a little bit more, poppy, fun, super purple, super in your face for those that want it. For the destroyers that want another squishy hammer to hit people with that's slightly different color, or for people who just want to hit things with weapons that look like they're balloons, that look like it's something that you'd hit your friends with at a slumber party. This is for you. And that's going to do it for the actual patch scroll down. When you look at the patch notes themselves, they do have a bit more insight on what the day-to-day rewards are for the attendance book, what the shop contents are for the Lucky Clover event, and of course what the dungeons are that you need to farm for that. The thing that I do want to touch on that this is missing is any mention of quality of life updates. Now, this is the patch notes, however, it doesn't say anything about new class skills or class buffs. There are a bunch of quality of life updates people are expecting to get, like the insignia chest, account bound thing, whatever you want to call it. Basically, at some point, the insignias that your characters have, the insignia pages, are supposed to all be combined the same way that your card sets are. However, obviously we haven't gotten that yet. There's also supposed to probably be a coming patch where we get a reduction in the cost of evolution from Siren gear to legendary gear. We haven't gotten that yet either. People were speculating we should get something like that, at least in this patch as well, since we tend to get the quality of life updates a bit ahead in patch schedule compared to when Korea got them, which is a good thing, but we haven't heard anything about that, and it's not in the patch notes. At this point, it's really disappointing to either see that there's no quality of life updates coming with the patch, or that there are going to be quality of life updates coming with the patch, but that they weren't talked about in the patch notes, so people couldn't plan for them a week ahead. I think either way, it's just a lose-lose. However, we'll have to see what happens. Following that up, there are just two other announcements that are posted in the news channel. One is about the Starlight Summer outfit sale. It's ending August 5th, so if you want to get that outfit, grab it now within this next week while you can. And finally, we have a call to action for anyone still experiencing disconnections. Basically, on July 13th, so about 2 weeks ago, there were constant disconnections being reported by players, and there was a huge issue with all the community having to deal with it. And they basically opened up, hey, in game support, send in these tickets, here's the format. If you're experiencing these disconnections, please let us know. A bunch of people did. They did a whole lot to try and fix these disconnections, and they're saying they haven't really gotten any ticket submissions as of late. If you are experiencing a bunch of frequent disconnections that you think are not attributed to your own internet or computer hardware, then maybe you should send in a ticket. Make sure that you are following their format so that way they can try to address the problem as easily as possible. Unless there's a flood of new tickets coming in to show them that this is still a problem, they're probably going to close down that kind of streamlined effort to help these disconnects unless it pops up later again. As a final shout out to my own personal news happening, this is the last video this month that is going to be coming out with the Bestie bottle. I hope they continue to keep me in the program so that way I can keep getting these codes to give out to you guys. That being said, this does make the third video this month, so there are 7 tickets left over. Those 7 tickets are going to be given out on a Twitch stream tomorrow, Wednesday at 8 o'clock p.m. PST. I will be giving them away all stream, just sporadically throughout, so that way it's equal chances for people coming in at different times. So please join me over on Twitch for that, and I hope to see you there. Anyway, that's going to be it for the news this week. I hope to see you again next week for another round, as always, and peace.